now that you're in France, no, let me ask a Congo question.
Okay.
I remember reading one of your letters. Donna described that I can keep the whole house with a bar of soap. Yeah. I keep it clean with a bar of soap. Now that's how far pared back you all were. You really didn't have the laundry detergent or a washing machine?
No.
Did you have air conditioning?
No.
How about heating? Did you have heating?
No.
How about running water?
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
we were blessed to have indoor plumbing. So
Yeah.
we were one of very few that had indoor plumbing, and I was grateful for that. So, but there were times when the water wasn't working, so we had to haul in water and have a 5-gallon container of water, and that's what you lived on. And so you learn what conserving water was really all about.
Oh, I bet.
And occasionally we would lose, electricity like once a day for a couple hours.
Yes.
And that was fine.
Well, there goes your internet.
Oh,
Yeah. But I mean, you get used to it. And I think the main thing was, it was better to have water and no electricity than electricity and no water.
Yes.
Yeah. The Congo, it was hot. We lived in a little, I don't know, probably a 18 by 20 foot.
About as big as this garage.
Yeah,
Yes.
about as big as this room.
Right.
That was our house. And, had a little bedroom and a little living area and a little kitchen. And, it was just from American standards, it was very primitive. I mean, but you learn to get along.
Our grandparents grew up with that.
Yes.
But I mean, even still, we had more than the average Congolese. The Congolese people live very simply. They're gardeners for the most part. They raise eggplant, tomatoes, cabbage, pineapples. I mean, all kinds of things, and they live in mud huts.
Yeah.
And it was just really, I don't know, it was humbling to see that, but yet it was also at the same time we were thankful for what we had.
Yes. And going back to the cleaning, so there's no hot water, and there's no, cleaners for the bathroom or specific. So it got me back to thinking about basics. And yes, you can actually do your laundry, wash your dishes, clean your house, wash your floor, all with the same bar of soap, and it gets everything just as clean as Lysol and Clorox.
Yeah.
So
That is pretty freeing. You don't have to have a closet full of
Chemicals,
chemicals, stuff like that.
yes.
Yeah.
Now, Greg and Donna, what job did you have while you were in the Congo?
So my primary job was to work at the hospital in their administration office. I wasn't a nurse, but going back to my numbers and business background, I helped with the finances and keeping track of monthly reports and helping with receipts and making sure everything got paid for and those sorts of things.
I've done that.
Yes. And we had computers, but we did everything manually in ledgers. So it was a good experience.
Now, I saw a picture of Greg climbing up on a tower. Now, you worked at a radio station.
Yes.
There. And that was, a lot of that involved some physical labor.
Not so much. I mean, when we first arrived in Congo, they were erecting a 300-foot tower for the radio station, which was really a monumental feat in Congo because they had to hand mix all the concrete. Over there, you get the cement, but then you have to mix in certain amounts of sand and rock, depending on the kind of concrete and how I guess dense you want to make it. But they had to do that a lot because one, you had the big footing for the tower, and then you had all the guy wires going around it. So they had to dig these holes, mix the concrete all in like a bathtub and such, and it was a very monumental effort. But they were good hard workers. They just stuck with it, and the tower was erected shortly after we got there, probably 2 weeks. They had the antennas up, and we were on the air, So in about 2 weeks, we were on the air with that tower.
Ooh.
But the tower, I mean, like I said, they started all that before we got there, and they were just finishing up as we arrived. And I worked at Radio Sango Kitoko, 106.3. That's Radio Sango Kitoko, 106.3.
Did you ever get to be a disc jockey?
Yes, I would do like a morning devotional occasionally on the air, of course, in French, and just spin the records. You know, it was all on the computer.
Do you have an idea what size your audience was?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I do know that whenever I would go into the marketplace, you know, the people knew why I was there, and they would all just give me encouragement, you know, about, you know, the radio station sounds good. We like the teachings. You know, I implemented some program changes. There's a group out of Sierra Leone that took Dr. J. Vernon McGee's through the Bible program and translated it into French.
Wow.
And we used that along with local pastors and just programming. And it was really, it really came a long way in a short time, and it was a blessing from
Wow.
God. But yeah,
Well,
we reached, you know, I know we were reaching out at least, I want to say about 60 kilometers, which, you know, that's a good ways.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So you were there for a year, 2 years?
1 year.
1 year,
Yeah,
okay.
1 year.
And now what city are you in now in France?
We will be in Lyon, France.
Okay.
Here in Texas, I think they pronounce it Lyon, because it's Lyon, but, you know, that's okay.
Sure.
But it'll be Lyon, France, which is the second largest urban area in France.
What will your jobs, what will your duties be?
I'll be working with a pastor, going through a pastoral internship for 1 year, and I will learn how to make the church relevant in France. You know, what makes it relevant, what makes the gospel message relevant. And it'll be 1 year, and after the end of that year, we'll evaluate, really, do I need to stay there, or can I move on? There's a lot of rural communities in France that need missionary pastors because they can't afford their own pastors. And that's where we might be able to step in and fill that need.
Well, do you have any idea of what your living conditions will be like?
They'll be more modern than Congo. I mean, France is a Western country, a Western part of Western civilization, so they have electricity and running water and high-rise apartment buildings and everything. However, we learned when we went over there last year that when you rent an apartment, you don't get anything if it's unfurnished. You literally don't get anything. So there's no stove or oven in the kitchen. There's no refrigerator. There's no washing machine
Wow.
or anything like that. So when you furnish it, you get all the normal furniture, but then you have to provide your oven, your refrigerator, your washing machine.
And that will come out of your pocket.
Yes.
Okay. Oh,
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
They just give you walls, 4 walls.
Walls.
That's it, yeah.
Basically,
you,
four
you don't
walls.
you don't even have a closet to put your clothes in, so you get that as well.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
What do they call that? The chifforobe or something like that. Well,
Yeah.
I'm going blank here. No, there's a Narnia book out there called The Wardrobe. That's
Oh,
it.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
So you have to have
we'll have one of those.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have a wardrobe.
Yeah,
Yes.
Not just boxes. You won't be living out of boxes.
Right.
right.
Do you know anything about the French people? You know, I mean, what are they? How do they see life?
Well, my take on the French population is that they're seeking answers to life. However, the vast majority of them are seeking in the wrong area. They're seeking fortune tellers, faith healers. They're using astronomy and just different methods to really explain and kind of understand life. In fact, there are more registered occult workers in France than there are pastors. And, you know, by occult workers, I mean fortune tellers, faith healers.
That's how they make their living.
And they make as much, if not more, money than a general practitioner in medicine.
Good.
And so you see, with that kind of idea, you see them, they're seeking, they want answers. And that's why I think right now is a good time for a little church plant in Lyon to go out and evangelize and to go out and just talk to the community, but do it in a way that's not, crazy. Do it from a position of love and patience and kindness. In fact, when we visited Lyon last year, we were able to meet up with a gentleman at a restaurant, and he asked us why we're here. Where are you from? And so we told him we're from Texas, and immediately he was interested because they love Texas.
Yeah.
Well, we love France.
Yeah, some do.
Well, I like it most of the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. And so it was really interesting having that conversation with him because, we talked about love, and we talked about how he loves his children, and we talked about how he follows the stars. And, and I pointed out, well, that's great, but I worship the guy that made the stars, and so and it was a gentle, just open conversation that really, I hope to continue that once we go back. But you never know how those seeds are going to grow and how they're going to develop. But that's what we do. We plant seeds as Christian missionaries.